Hey guys, what's going on? It's Game Addict here. Today we're going to be going over the mid-season reinforcements for Velvet Shell, which are being released tomorrow, Wednesday, March 15th, 2017. Now this is a really exciting update because we've got an upgrade for Glaz's scope, which was teased a few days ago, a new elite set for Twitch, which was also teased a few days ago, and now we get to the nitty-gritty details of the operator balancing and the weapon balancing. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So the first big update that we're going to be talking about is the addition of thermal vision to Glaz's flip sight. Now, this is something I think that players have wanted for quite a long time, especially on Glaz for those long-distance engagements on a daytime map, where defenders may peak quite a bit. Well, I'm not sure if we'll see any addition of Glaz into competitive play. I think it really is going to bring up his pick rate in more casual, more ranked play when people really want to step outside of the box. Playing is an obvious answer where people are going to choose Glaz, but now, we may see them choose him on a map like Oregon, where it's going to be much more close quarters. It is stated that it will be able to see through smoke grenades. That includes Capitao, smokes, gas canisters, whether it's going to be thermite or ashes smokes. He's really going to be a little bit more useful now in everyday play. Now, the other small change we see to Glaz, it's not really a big one, but I think it's something that people are going to notice immediately is that change of diameter on the scope. You can see in their representations that there is a smaller diameter of an area of effect now. There's a red circle encompassing a green circle. And I believe that green circle is going to be where the thermal vision lies. The red is going to act almost as a filter over the regular scope. The next part of the update that I'm personally excited about is Twitch's new Elite skin. I know that it's something very cosmetic, but it's exciting to see Twitch's face finally revealed to everybody. She'll be getting a new headgear, new uniform, operator card, the custom animation at the end, and last but not least, a new design for her drone. So it's something that I'm really personally excited about. I will be buying this one. You got me, Yubi. Got my money on this one. Now I want to get into the nitty-gritty of the health program for the game that they're going to be releasing. The first being the technical test servers. Now, essentially what this should be is a public test server for people to go out and try what they're going to be implementing in the game and give direct live feedback to the developers. This is something really important that we should have had for a long time. So it's a really great step that they're taking in this year 2 for the longevity of this game. And one of the first things they say they want to test on this is the new one-step matchmaking system. Now what this means is it's essentially going to work like Counter-Strike. The game will actively gather the 10 players needed for a match, allowing you to go through your menus, your weapons, change things around, all before actually launching you into the game. This is something really important. I'm super excited for this, and I think it's going to be something great that everybody's going to benefit from. And moving on to the operator tweaks for this update, we've only got a couple, but I'm pretty excited for them. The first one is Doc's Overheal got buffed from up to 120 health to 140 health. Now this is really going to turn defenders into tanks, so if you weren't aiming for headshots before, now's the time to start training a little bit harder. If you don't empty that entire clip into the body, then you may not take them down, especially with Rook's armor. Now the second operator update that they're doing is Buck getting an extra magazine for his skeleton key. I'm super excited for this. Now they even stated themselves they felt like Buck ran out of ammo quite fast sometimes, and I really have to agree with them. I think when you're playing the vertical game, one shot doesn't take out the ceiling and the floor, and you need to waste two. So this extra magazine is really going to give players some versatility and allow them to really open up their surroundings. And speaking of operator weapons, it looks like they have done quite a bit of work on the reticles for the sights on the red dot, reflex, and hollow. Now this past patch they did kind of realign them all, so they all seem the same size, but they noticed, and players were complaining, that they are too big. They take up too much screen real estate to be truly effective. So they're going to be dialing them back and making them a little bit smaller, which should give you the advantage in those more precise angles. And next on the weapon buffs, we have a couple of recoil control and damage updates. Now the first on the recoil side is Capitao's Para 308, which is going to be reined in a little bit, as even the pros thought it was a little wild sometimes. The other one being Thermite's 556XI, which I find to be okay. I've never really had a problem with it, but at times there can be a little bit of jump in the recoil, so they are also dialing that one back in. Now on the damage side, Echo's MP5 SD2 will do more damage at medium range. Before they were saying that the gun dealt about 25 damage from 0 to 10 meters and then fell at lowest to 14. Now it does 29 from 0 to 15 and falls to 14 at 20. So as you can see, they are giving it a little bit more range here and giving it a little bit more damage before dropping off. Now the second one is Kaveta's Gadget. It seems that pre-patch the damage went from 70 damage at 7 meters down to 20 damage at 18 meters. And now it's going to be going from 70 damage at 7 meters to 35 damage at 18 meters. Then it will fall to 20 damage at 24 meters. So they're giving you a little bit more progression in where it's going to be lethal and where it's going to down somebody. Before it was a little hard to tell. So hopefully with this update, players will be playing Kaveta a little bit more effectively. Now, there were a couple of nerfs that did happen, one of them being to DMR's trigger rate. Now, people were able to squeeze that trigger on that DMR as fast as a fully automatic weapon, so Ubisoft wanted to dial that back a little bit and really make it that single-shot precision rifle that it is supposed to be. The other one being the recoil on Jackal C7E was too accurate. Ubisoft has finally nerfed it, and that's something that we've all said from the beginning. That gun was way too overpowered, way too accurate. I'm excited to see how they've changed it in order to make it a little bit more balanced. Now, the final major update that they are addressing was something that they fixed earlier this week, and that was the ELO glitch that players were exploiting. Now, that was where people would leave a ranked game right before the final kill cam, which would result in the enemy team getting no points towards their MMR. They did implement a ban to kind of help curb that, but they will be addressing it and watching it for the rest of the season to make sure that it doesn't come back. Now for the rest of the main bug fixes, which I will be reading verbatim from their page if you have not visited rainbow6.ubisoft.com yet. So the first one's being the gameplay fixes that they have indeed fixed. There is an exploit that results in ranked games awarding 0 to 5 MMR after a win. Hit registration and kill cam show a headshot without proper bonus points of a neck shot. The player cannot detonate a nitro cell if they are put in a down but not out state while holding and then revived. Weapons will become invisible when revived animation of a player or hostage is interrupted. The feedback for cooking a frag grenade is not replicated in support mode. The camera clips through an operator when they go downstairs while in prone. The compass does not move or shows the wrong direction while the player is repelling. Crouching under a deployable shield while it is being placed will allow characters to sometimes clip through it. And the smoke grenade effects passing through floors. All of these things have been fixed for gameplay. Now let's move on to the more important ones, the operator fixes. For shield operators, it looks like they have fixed the explosive damage, where shields were not protecting operators from the explosions. Blitz himself got a little bit of a buff. Before, when you would use his gadget, you would have to wait 2 seconds before you could aim down sights or fire his weapon. Now they have removed that. They said he went to the range, he got a little bit better, and I'm excited. Frost will now be able to place her traps near windows. There was a bug where she was not able to do that. Echo's yokai drone will be getting a little bit of a patch. Before, it would reset every time you got off the camera, and now it will be the same direction that you left it in. The yokai drone itself sometimes got a little bit of wrong collision detection, and then would result in the losing signal error, which you then would not be able to use it at all. And then when you were hit by yokai sonic burst, the camera mode couldn't be used for duration of this disorientation effect. That has been fixed as well. Now, the fixes around Mirror are all stem from her one-way mirrors. Sometimes the event would trigger twice, making it twice as loud. Other times you wouldn't be able to reinforce next to it. Sometimes a player would join and see the wrong frame of when it's being placed. All these little things have been fixed to hopefully make Mirror a little bit more optimized for the game. The next one is Sledge, where apparently his model was corrupt for some people during gameplay when viewed by other players. That's a big one to fix. And the last one being Montang. Apparently it was sometimes possible to shoot his pistol with his shield fully deployed. I have never seen that bug personally, but I am glad that I didn't, and I'm glad that it's being fixed. And lastly, I want to go over the level design fixes they did for Bartlett, Clubhouse, and Bank. On Bartlett, they did fix the destruction on the ceiling of Piano Room above the fireplace, as it could only be seen from one direction. Players could clip through the first floor dining room outside door and be killed by enemies, and a player would get stuck in a wall while entering from rappelling in first floor dining room. Now in Clubhouse, they did fix defenders being able to clip into the outside shed by vaulting over the deployable shield. This one I saw on Reddit and YouTube a lot. I'm really happy they did fix this one finally. And lastly on Bank, they did fix the objects on shelves disappearing and deforming upon the level of detail drop. That's all I've got for you guys today. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. I really enjoy doing this for you guys, and I'm really happy that we finally hit the 1,000 subscribers. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.